Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this video here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at one of the false claims made in the JFK assassination about the supposed gunman that was firing a rifle between the shelter and the picket fence area on a grassy knoll. First, we're going to pull up this image here. This is the supposed gunman that they found in Orville Nick's film. And when I came across this and I started reading about it and looking over the videos and stuff, I had to myself see if this was actually real or was it another false claim. So what I did was, after I read up on this and how they analyzed it, I went ahead and took out the Orville Nick's film again, started going over frame by frame, and found there was no motions, no movement in this area whatsoever. So the next step that I did was I went ahead. Let me pull up this image here. Then we're going to pull up this image here. Now, I want to zoom in. Now, this is the location. As you see my cursor, this is the location supposedly that where that gunman's standing at and firing. So what I did was I took this map out here and marked the location, as you see right here. This is the location supposedly where that gunman was standing when he took a shot in Orville Nick's film. However, from this view here, he could not even take no headshot or anything else, because as you see here, if he was standing here, he would end up shooting the wall right here, the retaining wall, instead of making contact with JFK, because remember, JFK's vehicle was going downward on a downgrade, which I'm going to show you here. When I studied film, I looked at the film this way, the proper way, where they were going downhill instead of upright, as they put it. Now, what I did next was I zoomed in on this location and copied it. This is the supposed gunman taking a shot. I went ahead and made some contacts, called some friends and stuff, and they took some images for me. And here's an image here. Now, supposedly this is right here is where the gunman was standing at when he took that shot, as they claimed in the Nick's film. So the next thing I done was I took that frame from the Nick's film, overlapped it over this image here, and I've done this not only to this frame here but to other frames as well. As you see here, I overlapped it to line up the doorway here as seen in the Orville Nick's film and the side where the windows are. As you see right here, as you see, which I'm going to click to the next one. Now we're going to zoom in. Now right here, as you see, is a frame from the Nick's film. As you see here, on top of this image, we see a shadow coming across here, another shadow coming up around here, and across here, and right up here. This is where supposedly the so-called gunman was firing from. But actually, in all facts, in all reality, there was no gunman there. All it was shadows of the trees reflecting off of the shelter. Because here's a shelter door. Let me pull up a Nick's film frame again. Okay, here's a shelter's doorway right here. This is a shelter's doorway. This is the other part of the shelter right here. That's what we're seeing in this image here. Here's the doorway right here. Just like here. Here's the doorway. We're actually seeing the shadows. And these shadows line up as I showed you right before this. We've seen the shadows. They was lining up perfectly with the shadows here. What we're seeing is not a gunman, but a shadow reflecting off of the pillar, one of these side rails of the shelter. There was no gunman in this location whatsoever. The gunman I found was in this location here and over on this side of the shelter, which I'll show you in a Mary Mormon photo, which I'll also show you. I'll make another videos that actually shows the gunman, because we have one gunman right here. Let me roll this back a little bit. We have one gunman right here, one gunman right here on the side. This is not a gunman. What this is is the shadows reflecting off of the shelter itself, and someone down the line seeing that says, well, hey, you know, I want to make it a gunman. But there was no gunman there. This is this image here, which they added, someone added, where they took an image of a man and they placed it over this. However, this is not a gunman. This is actually a shadow that's reflecting off of the shelter, which I'll pull the shelter back up. We're going to zoom back in. Now I'm going to pull up this image here. We're going to do a side by side. Now when we zoom in, pull this one back up. This section right here, this whole section right here, is this right here. See this? This is all lining up perfectly. All this is right here. The so-called rifle is nothing but right here. The guy's head is nothing but right here. This part right here is right here. And this is the other part of his arm right here. So see, there was no gunman here at the time. All we're seeing is a shadow reflecting off of the shelter. Now they could have cut some of the tree limbs off where what formed the head a little bit more, or the angle of it, because remember, he's shooting this way. He's filming in this way. So this part of the tree, which I'm going to show you right here with my cursor, this part here could form the head part, as they claimed. This part right here could form the head part, because remember, he's filming this way as an angle and not straight at it, the shelter, but he's filming the shelter from the side. As we see here, he's filming this way, and we're really not seeing the walkway here or the full doorway. We're just seeing part of it, and the trees and stuff is what's forming the so-called head. But the body and stuff that we're looking at is actually this part of the shadow right here. So after finding this evidence out, because there's nothing else is showing it, because like I said, I watched the whole Orville Nix film time and time again. And when I do work on these false claims, I watch a specific area in every frame. There's no movement in here whatsoever in this location or anything else. This so-called gunman is nothing but a false claim. It's just put out there because everybody wants to prove that there's a gunman on a grassy knoll, which I've already found the evidence to show there was 2 gunmen on a grassy knoll, but there was no gunman there in this location, as they claimed here. Like I said, in this part here, they claimed it. The gunman can be seen in the Nix film. Remember, he's filming over here in this location, and he's filming from the side view, which he's going to catch all these trees down through here, and on this side, he's catching the part of the shadow with the trees in the background, which forms the head. And as I showed you here in this video, with the overlay of the frame and stuff, it was nothing more than a shadow on a wall, and there was no gunman in that part of that location. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like, and look for our new videos that's coming out, because I'm going to be posting a lot more. Thank you, and good night.